So, as I was ending our other episode, there were things coming through my mind on how easy it is for those of us who have sense of self-worth to chit-chat. When we have splinters or ruptures, which are words that are technical for those who learn about attachment trauma. And so I'm going to give the layman's terms, I think, from a person who has had plenty of people throughout my life, as anybody else will. I grow my oversoul as a 5D mystic, not less. So your spiritual awakening isn't where you lose people, but that's because of a person having the capacity to actively do what Jesus taught us to do. And so you're not hanging over somebody's head anything. When people love each other and they also love themselves, they will know about being flawed with integrity, that part about being straightforward and honest. And so knowing how to tell somebody what you think always and not just sometimes. And while I do notice therapists talking about things in a way that I don't agree with, for example, one of them is not telling each other everything. Now, there's things that you don't share, but that's from a mystic perspective. So sometimes I have people say, I'm afraid of tarot because not the devil thing. No, that's something that they will easily, a person of faith knows that energy is energy. And I will use the word faith because faith is not something owned by one group or another group. A mystic, a spirituality person, whether with Christian spirituality or Buddhism spirituality, or again, here we use words interchangeably. They're not going to be etched in stone, and anybody who's going to go and grab a list of them and start to make something like that is automatically an adaptive child. The only people who actively need to do linearity and they're nitpicking and they're dismantling, it's a teenager in my book who's trying to prove something. They've gotten in their pissy pants about it. Whatever it is, it doesn't even matter. That's why a narrow piece of consciousness will not be something that is of significance to an expanded piece of consciousness. They are significant because they exist. What I'm saying is, intellectually speaking, they're looking like for a needle in a haystack, but in a way of, I want to pick you apart because I want to, out of the spiteness of my heart. And this is why if a person only looked inside, they would understand what that unraveling is. So that end of the coin is that I know all about, again, the 1-year-old of a person not getting securely attached. They will automatically have two options when they meet a person who says, I'm who I am, I don't have shame. It will be either I want to also be myself the same way and unconditionally love myself, and so I want to welcome all the fragments of me, use your human name. Or it will be, I don't like this. Or it'll be mixed. I like some things, not all things. And anywhere you don't like something, when you're meeting somebody who has healthy self-worth, they do not rely on you for this. We're mammals. And so each and every one of us has the 1-year-old. A 1-year-old who's a free lover is not going to look for you to give me or I you this. This heart doesn't navigate based on that. There's no shame button. There's a love button. So my connection to you is an open heart. I'm not closing it off to you. I'm openly sharing who I am with you with no shame or blame or fault or any low self-esteem. A person who welcomes themselves will like this. The mixed areas means there's areas of their child parts that they can welcome home if they want. If not, they don't have to. Which is why a person who's a pot child will get used to having Cuscos around. As I described to you, those are the teenagers. They're adaptive children. They're harsh, unforgiving, and they will try to do this thing of unraveling through the play of words. The reason why I don't have tangible examples for you of any of this evil shit is because envy and jealousy are cowardice. Because a person who doesn't know how to tell me in my face that they don't like me, you're a coward again. Any person who has shame is going to be, in the book of a healthy self-worth human being, a coward, not in a way of I want to insult you. No, you don't have integrity. You're not standing tall in front of me with your eyes looking at me, and that's the part. You don't have the capacity because there's shame, and where there's shame, there's hurt. And where there's hurt, this is why it's not funny to be a person who, when I learned about attachment and trauma, the first years, I just would cry after every one of my lessons because I was like, wow, okay. I mean, I knew that people had this shame stuff, but I didn't realize that a person who's confident, who has healthy self worth, will trigger trauma charges. That's not funny. It's not fun to see people armor themselves shut. So, in an effort to not cry, because I want to chit chat, it is not something you will want to see because it's a human. The only people who don't realize that you're human is the same person who doesn't understand what I'm saying, which are not going to be a part of the IHP community, because you're human and I don't make it up. I learn from people. So the part about knowing that you can trigger what is uncomfortable to another human being, but that they don't understand it because it's going to come up, where their first 3 years of life, it's all implicit. It's sad. It's not something I'm ashamed of. It's sad because it's twofold. You're going to get the projection of the adoptive child when they don't welcome themselves. So now you know the person's not welcoming themselves home. It doesn't matter how they treat me. They're not a reflection of me. They're a reflection of their own unkindness, which is their own childhood trauma, which is their own hiding from the. It's all sad. For a person who has healthy self-worth, any attachment trauma will make you more sad, and then you'll be happy because there's good therapists. And you're like, okay, they have an option. They have an opportunity. They can get healed and they can get to the restorative embodiment. Okay, so with that being said, when I see people who are using their mouths in just amazingly not amazing ways, it is not overestimating the usage of your brain. No, I don't overestimate. I actually know exactly why people are still ignorant. So IHP is going to look to build a community of people who can share. We don't demonize or romanticize people. We're all flawed, but we'll do it with integrity. And so those morals are, I'll treat you with kindness because that's how I want to be treated. I won't be using my words in any specific way. If you're looking for somebody to spoon feed you, it's not here. Go to the how-to people. Those are the ones who you want. Okay, so with that, when someone is finally welcoming themselves, that's when they're going to enjoy having confident people in their life. 1. 2, when a person welcomes themselves, they don't want to keep shut their mouth on their feelings. What kind of a relationship are you building if you don't have feelings in the mix, if you don't talk about things from the depths of you? Okay, so people who don't do the depths of them, those are narrow consciousnesses pieces. When I'm around them, I know exactly who they are, how they are. It's something very much, it's not like weather talk, but basically that's almost what we're getting to, okay? And that's because of the part of when you can perceive the depths of you, you're going to perceive the depths of another. We're all nervous systems. And so when you welcome all of you home, that's when you're going to be a person who you will be able to pick up on expanding pieces of consciousness, is how I'm going to word it. And if you ever need me to explain or elaborate, ask questions. There's free FAQs, meaning, hey, Maria, I want to hear about that word you used. How do you mean it? Because I mean it in a different way. Oh, and we also, that's the other thing, we use words differently, all of us. So no loss in translation. When you have healthy self-worth people, they like to talk in each other's faces. They like to look in each other's eyes. They consistently show up, men, women, days. And when we have those who do gender stereotypes, yeah, I was trying to do an episode on that, but I'm not sure I want to because it's really disappointing to see men, women, and I don't know any days, but when I see those who think that they're smart do narrow consciousness chit chat, yeah, it's disappointing because it's like you actively think that you're saying something empowering, but you're not. You're just repeating the same sentence from yesterday. It just sounds a little different. At the same time, I understand because your 1-year-old is looking for a thumbs up from that community over there, and you keep on using the same boxes over and over again instead of saying, oh, look, I can cut a little bit of the box over here and over here and over here. And, oh, look, I'm creating a new box. So that's where the 5D collective, we create new boxes. We're all pachas. We say, I shook, I meant it. I won't turn around and say twin flames don't exist because you didn't come back around. Oh, that one's really funny. I don't even know how to say wow. Anyone? Oh, my divine feminines know what I'm talking about. So we don't negate who our twin flame or flames are or our oversoul just because they don't do things the way we want them to. We also don't need to be put on pedestals, and we don't look for the power couple type of thing. One of the most amazing journeys you will ever have is becoming all of you. And you will already know, if you're divine feminine, that that's where you're headed. Which is why when you look out, you're like, today's a good day. Oh, I had some emotions go on today. Oh, tomorrow, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're like, I'm being gifted. This is the path to enlightenment by choosing love. Your host here. Love, bliss, you name it. All of it. Wisdom, the pain and loss, it's part of life, but it's not with my temporal junction. So no, I have no suffering because I've used my prefrontal cortex, because I didn't get fear-mongered at home when I got whiny. No. Only one emotion had a bit of resistance, and that was actually something I completely understood as I was growing up, because my mom would say, you have to go. I'm not always going to be here. Go, go, go. I don't want to. You have to. I don't have. Yes, you do. Okay, fine, fine. But I'm saying the emotion of fear is the one that I had to, and I'm pretty good at it right now. I've gotten to process pure fear, all those panic attacks. So, I get used to it's still uncomfortably uncomfortable, but it's better. I'm able to handle all of it a lot more with ease. And at the same time, I don't have to get over it. Although people, you should get over it. Well, I might not. I don't know. I mean, I got this end of the stick. What do you want? What end of the stick did you get? Which is the emotion that you don't have always around, or that you don't? Well, see, that's the part. Emotions, they're not negative or positive. So for me, I'll have all my emotions around, but I also know how to ensure that I'm keeping an ear out and an eye out and a body out for everything that universe tells me. Akash speaks to you. It's very straightforward. The basics of reality. You sleep, you eat, you drink. Luckily, you wake up and you can do it all over again. And then you have the people who want to stick around, and they get to share with you all of that, and you have fun. Oh, expanding peace of consciousness. And so come back around for some more. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day